Bev with a quick video, and this is a request video on HIIT training, or high intensity interval training. And the two key letters there are intensity and interval. Now you can do it on a treadmill, you can do it on a stationary bike, maybe you go jogging, whatever, it doesn't matter. But it's not going to build muscle. What are you doing it for? It's a cardiovascular exercise, and you're doing it to lose excess fat, right? At least that's why you should be doing it. Okay. Basically, you run at some medium, whatever is not too intense for you, for maybe 2 or 3 minutes. And then you jump into a high intensity, go all out for as long as you can. Maybe it's a minute, maybe less, maybe more. But once you get messages from your body, you have to listen to those messages. If your body starts making you cough, it gets red in the face, you can't carry on a conversation with your buddy, then you have to go back to the medium intensity. You may have to go back earlier or later than your buddy. It doesn't really matter. You're working with your own body, okay? And what we're going to talk about here is your anaerobic threshold. So when your body moves from being aerobic to anaerobic, it means that it can't keep up to what you're demanding of your muscles. Now, when you're truly aerobic, okay? When you're aerobic, you are burning fat. There's no doubt about that. And that's because you're adding respiratory oxygen to your fatty acids. And fatty acids are made of carbon and hydrogen. So if you put oxygen in there, carbon, you get carbon dioxide, and you breathe out the carbon dioxide, and the H2O, you're adding oxygen, is water. So maybe you pee that out. So what you do is you breathe out and you pee out, for example, your fat. Sounds pretty good, right? But if you don't listen to these messages and you do go more anaerobic than aerobic, then your body can't get the oxygen it needs to create the fuel, the energy that you need for your exercise. So it's looking for oxygen. It's not going to get it respiratory because you're not fit enough. So it runs down into your body and it goes after your glycogen, which is stored carbs. And most of that is stored in your muscles. Okay, you have some in your liver. Most of it's in your muscle, and it has the same carbon and hydrogen, but it also has the prized oxygen. And that's what your body's after, because you're not listening to the messages. So you have to do this correctly. You have to listen to your body, okay? You always need energy. You always need oxygen for energy. And where you get it, are you getting it from your fat or are you getting it from your glycogen? Now, what I would say is, for this type of exercise, you only do it maybe 3 times weekly, and only for about 10 or 15 minutes each time. Now, you might say, why? Well, I said hormones run everything, right? Well, you'll get a lot of the cortisol stress hormone with proper HIIT training. And when that happens, it's a metabolic hormone, and it is a calorie. It's a fat-creating hormone. It loves to put fat at the waist, all that kind of thing. And by the way, if you see people that only run on the treadmill, they do get a lot of cortisol. They do lose fat, but they don't gain much muscle, right? So a more, shall I say, efficient way to get your body fat percentage down is to lift weights and do a bit of cardio. Anyway, that's a different story. But what I want to say is the key point here is a fitter body is going to take a longer time to hit this anaerobic threshold. And if you're not fit enough, you're going to get the messages earlier and you have to listen, right? But when you're fitter, it means you can stay aerobic longer. You can use that respiratory oxygen longer. So what you want to do with this type of training, and what it will do for you, is it will raise your anabolic threshold efficiency by as long as you do the aerobic workout, only up to your AT, okay? Only up to your maximum heart rate. You want to be just a little bit below that. And when you get there, and you can't stay there for very long, then you drop down to a medium intensity. So there's a method here. It may look like madness, but there's a method. And what you're after is to become more fit. You want a higher aerobic threshold. So unfit people, they never can stay aerobic for very long. They run on the treadmill, they get huffing and puffing. They say, oh, this is really good. I'm burning a lot of fat, and they just keep on going. And their body's like, no, stop. I'm going to get the oxygen elsewhere. So do your HIIT training properly and for the right reason. Okay? See you in the next video.